It was a cold, drizzly afternoon when Sarah, a single mom juggling life with 2 kids and a full-time job, was rushing to catch the bus after a long day. Her mind was already on the tasks waiting for her at home: dinner, laundry, helping her son with his homework, and making sure her daughter had everything ready for school the next day. Life felt like a never-ending cycle, but as she stepped off the curb to cross the street, something stopped her in her tracks. There, sitting alone at the bus stop, were an elderly couple. Their clothes were tattered, their hands shaking with age and cold, and their faces looked lost, like they'd been waiting for a bus that was never going to come. "Excuse me," Sarah asked hesitantly. "Are you okay? Do you need help?" The old man looked up at her, his eyes cloudy with confusion. "We've been here for hours," he said in a trembling voice. "No one has stopped to help us." Sarah's heart ached as she noticed how frail the woman next to him looked. "Why didn't anyone stop? Are you waiting for the bus?" "We don't know what happened," the elderly woman whispered. "Our daughter said she'd pick us up, but we haven't seen her. It's been hours." In that moment, something in Sarah's chest tightened. She couldn't leave them here. Not like this. "Come with me," she said softly, offering a hand. "Let me take you somewhere warm." "You're welcome to come to my house." The couple looked at her, hesitation and disbelief written across their faces. But they were tired. The old man's hands shook as he gripped her arm, and the elderly woman nodded, relieved at the sight of compassion in Sarah's eyes. They didn't have anywhere else to go. As Sarah drove them to her apartment, she couldn't help but wonder how their daughter could leave them stranded like this. But that wasn't her concern right now. What mattered was making sure this couple was safe and taken care of. She made them tea and set up a comfortable spot for them in the living room. Her children, curious but polite, watched the couple with wide eyes. Sarah introduced them to the elderly pair, who introduced themselves as Walter and Helen. Over the next few hours, Sarah listened to their story. Walter had been a retired factory worker, and Helen had spent most of her life as a school teacher. They were kind-hearted souls, but they had lived a simple, isolated life. They had always been there for their daughter. Yet now, it seemed as though she had forgotten them. After they had settled in, Walter looked up at Sarah with a soft, grateful smile. "You're a good woman," he said, his voice choked with emotion. "We don't meet many people like you." Sarah smiled, but inside she felt a twist in her stomach. She had always known how hard life could be for a single mom, but seeing it through Walter and Helen's eyes made her realize how easy it could be to forget about the elderly, the ones who had given so much to the world but had so little to show for it in return. The conversation shifted to their daughter, and Sarah's heart dropped when she heard the full story. Walter and Helen had raised their daughter with love and care, sacrificing everything for her. But now, as they grew older, it seemed she had moved on with her life, too busy with her own family to make time for them. Suddenly, everything clicked. For Sarah, she had always been terrified that her kids might one day grow distant from her, that they might forget everything she had done for them. The thought of being abandoned like Walter and Helen was too much to bear. But in that moment, she vowed never to let that happen. She would be there for her kids, no matter what, and she would teach them the value of family, love, and loyalty. The night ended with a simple meal, stories shared between the couple and Sarah, and laughter that filled the small apartment. But as the night wore on, Sarah began to feel something shift inside her. She had always been focused on survival, on making ends meet, on checking off the endless list of tasks. But tonight, she realized that sometimes it's the little moments, the connections we make, that matter most. The next morning, Sarah drove Walter and Helen back to their home. Their daughter hadn't shown up, but they weren't angry. They were just disappointed. "We're grateful for your kindness," Walter said, shaking her hand before stepping out of the car. "You've given us more than we could ever ask for." As Sarah drove away, she felt a wave of mixed emotions. Sadness because of what had happened to Walter and Helen. Anger because of how easily they had been forgotten. But also gratitude for the reminder that kindness could change someone's day, someone's life. Sarah knew that she couldn't save everyone, but she could make a difference. And that in itself was enough. Have you ever experienced a moment where showing kindness to a stranger changed your life in unexpected ways? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this story moved you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share this video with someone. Who needs to hear it? Let's spread kindness, one story at a time.